Hey guys, what's up? So, as you can obviously tell from the title of this video, this is going to be another discussion video, but it's going to be about a topic that I've avoided talking about purely because of all the controversy and division around it. But it's gotten to the point where I feel like I really need to talk about it because, first and foremost, obviously, I'm a Star Wars fan and one who tries to be as positive as possible and really gets upset when I see so much toxicity and negativity around this whole freaking fan base and franchise that is just ridiculous to me. So, okay, the Gina Carano situation. Honestly, the reason I avoided talking about it so much is because I didn't really have a solid opinion about it, and I've been like going back and forth in my head about it. And at first, when it happened, I was all for it, but that was only because I was just caught up in the, I don't know, I guess you could say the hype of it and wasn't really thinking for myself. But now that it's been a few months, honestly, in terms of whether or not Gina Carano deserved to be fired from The Mandalorian, I think that's purely subjective, and obviously that's, you know, your opinion as to whether or not she deserved it. Honestly, at this point, I'm kind of conflicted when it comes to that. Honestly, part of me says yes, she did deserve it, and then part of me says no, she didn't. And really, I want to explain why here. On the one hand, like when the whole hashtag Fire Gina Carano movement started, I didn't understand why people were wishing for that because, granted, even before I learned about the whole controversy around the stuff that she tweeted and posted and said, I didn't really, I never followed her on Twitter or Instagram or literally any form of social media. I didn't follow her. But when the whole hashtag really gained momentum and started to trend, I went to her Twitter page and looked through her tweets, and I was just like, I see no evidence that she's a bad person. It seems like, on the surface, from a majority of her tweets, she seems like a very positive, fun, and sweet person. You know, at the time, I didn't really think that the whole hashtag was necessary because I was just like, I see no indication or proof of these things that people are saying about her. But eventually, once the whole thing gained so much attention that YouTubers on both sides of the opinion started talking about it, and when I started seeing screenshots of the controversial stuff she posted, like anti-mask, anti-coronavirus memes, the fact that she was friends with and followed a bunch of fandom menacers, I was just like, okay, this woman has some issues, and especially when she liked some tweets that were supporting the Capitol riots even before they happened. I was just like, okay, the fucking woman needs to go. She that is just, she has some mental issues. But of course, the tweet, or I should say Twitter story or Instagram story, whatever it was that she shared that got her fired, which was essentially comparing being a conservative person today to being a Jew in World War II before the Holocaust. I was just like, that's fucking disgusting, and that's historically and factually inaccurate. There is literally no comparison between the two. Conservatives have it far better off than Jews did in that time. Far better off. There is no fucking comparison. Okay, at least conservatives haven't been, freaking murdered and gassed to death and burned alive and, taken to camps and essentially slaughtered because of their race and religion. Conservatives have only been criticized for their political affiliations and opinions, not for their race and religion. Why? Because white people Caucasian slash people of European descent, who are the majority of conservatives, have never had to face the struggles and, horrors that Jews did back in that time. And in fact, as much as they'll deny it, conservatives today are more like Nazis in terms of their views because they blame and hate on Jews for everything as well as any and all minorities. So that comparison is factually wrong. And speaking of which, Pedro Pascal, who, as we all know, plays the Mandalorian, made that comparison on Twitter, and he got so much hate from the Fandom Menace because of it. And supposedly he deleted the tweet. But the difference is his comparison, comparing the Trump regime to the Nazis and comparing what's being done to Mexicans at the border, being separated from their families and put in torture camps, comparing that to concentration camps with Jews when they were separated from their families and slaughtered, that is a comparison that I think makes sense and is based in reality. I mean, the comparison is undeniable. The things that the Trump regime, as I like to call it, did to minorities is the same as what the Nazis did to Jews and African Americans and people of races and religions that were not German slash Anglo-Saxon. But granted, what Trump's administration did to Mexicans maybe wasn't as severe as what the Nazis did, but regardless, it was still pretty freaking disgusting and immoral. But not just that, but other things they've done, such as Charlottesville and the Capitol riots, have proved over and over again that conservatives are mentally unstable. But to get back to Gina Carano, I think the reason why really both sides in regards to her are the problem is because, first of all, the side that wanted her gone is toxic in the sense that they just wanted her gone for a small thing, for something that wasn't as bad as something she could have said or could have done. She could have said something or done something a lot worse that would have warranted her being fired. I think maybe she should have just been warned instead of fired. But on the flip side, with her supporters, such as Drunk 3PO, who's the most obvious example because the dude simps for her so hard even though he doesn't want to admit it. But for them, they only support her because they agree with her opinions and they see her as a hero or a role model or an idol, which granted, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just their opinion as well. And obviously everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But the difference is they treat her as if she's a freaking god or, just this super important person who deserves, all the respect and, it doesn't deserve any hate. And they attack and criticize those who wanted her gone, like how, for example, Drunk 3PO insulted Freddie Prinze Jr. for tweeting a gif of some girl being slapped that was in reference to Gina Carano, and Drunk 3PO said that Freddie Prinze Jr. has a small wiener for insulting Gina. Again, then that's the most obvious proof that Drunk 3PO wants to fuck Gina, even though he knows he'll never get the chance, which is the definition of a simp. But not just him, but every fan menacer, Ryan Kinnell, Jeremy Griggs, that Star Wars girl, all of them simp for Gina so hard purely because they agree with her and purely because they see her as an idol or a god, which is a characteristic of cult members. And in essence, in a nutshell, that is what the Phantom Menace is. More so than anything else, the Phantom Menace is a cult, and it's so obvious. Just in terms of the things they say and believe, and how they constantly repeat the same stuff and have such a severe case of cognitive dissonance and confirmation bias against anything that's not just socially progressive, but even more so, anything Star Wars related that does not fit their expectations and demands. But to get back to Gina Carano, my point is you're allowed to support her as well as not support her, but the fact is, the people on both sides of this controversy, the people who were for and against her firing, need to fucking get over it. They need to fucking move on and stop whining about it. Like how fandommenacers keep spam downvoting and keep copy pasting hate comments on the videos of the official Star Wars YouTube channel consistently, and how people constantly talk about Gina Carano and her firing. Both sides need to fucking get over it and move on and focus their energy on something else. It's not the end of the world that she was fired, okay? She's rich. She's a freaking actress and a wrestler. She can find another role, another movie or show to do. She's not in danger of becoming unemployed or homeless, okay? She can freaking get another job. It's not the end of the world, okay? And it's also not the end of Mandalorian now that she's gone, okay? The show can go on without her, okay? She's not a 100% necessary character. She's not even the main character, okay? The show can survive without her. Just fucking move on. End of story, end of debate. And personally, either way, I do not care. I don't care if she would have stayed, and I don't care that she's gone. I'm just sick of people on both sides talking about it. Her supporters need to get over it, and her haters just need to move on to something else. Both sides need to move on. That's it. Oh, once again, that was so therapeutic, and I really needed to get it out there because it's just annoying me so much. But anyway, if you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks for watching. Bye.